Welcome back to my Japanese writing tutorial. In this video, we'll be going over what goes into writing kanji, stroke order, and stroke shapes. I realize it can be quite daunting to be dealing with kanji, but if you can get past the following, you'll be that much more successful at writing. Let's get the hard one out of the way first. The bottom line with stroke order is that following the correct one will facilitate neat and readable writing, even if it happens to look stiff and robotic. If you're already aware of the stroke order and their exceptions, yes, exceptions, feel free to skip ahead or stick around for a review. Number 1. Kanji strokes and sections are written from left to right. Number 2. Kanji strokes and sections are written from top to bottom. Number 3. Horizontals come before verticals. The exception to this is the character for rice field. Number 4. Leftward diagonals come before rightward ones. Number 5. Character spanning strokes come last. Number 6. Long center verticals come before left and right parts. Number 7. Leftmost vertical strokes come first before downward turning strokes. Number 8. Enclosures come before the inside contents. The final stroke and boxes come last, after the internal contents are written. There are some exceptions which aren't as easily categorized. Just chalk it up to inconsistencies because why not? For example, some of the parts that appear on the bottom left are written first, and sometimes they're written last. As a general rule of thumb, The more strokes the lower left part has, the more likely it will be written first. Depending on your particular learning method, you're likely going to figure out the other inconsistencies on your own. This is, after all, only meant to serve as a review, not as an absolute guide. If you're ever confused, I highly recommend looking up the character in a dictionary. Thankfully, being the exceptions makes such characters a bit more manageable with a bit of practice. As you may already be aware, most Asian scripts were once written with brushes. The varying pressure levels exerted on the bristles during a given stroke give strokes uniquely identifiable shapes. In kaisho, otherwise known as block or regular script, there are 6 basic stroke shapes to be mindful of when writing with everyday utensils: dots, horizontals, verticals, bends, curved hooks, and diagonals. These strokes branch out with different variations. These variations, when used effectively, give even kanji written with a pencil a much livelier and much more coherent form. Dots start off as 45-degree lines and have 3 basic shapes, which depend on where the stroke is placed. It can go towards the left, right, or middle. The left and right ones can end in flicks depending on what the character calls for. They look like subtle check marks or arrowheads when they do. The middle one often looks like a stubby vertical line extended from the initial 45-degree stroke. Horizontal lines are always written from left to right and raised at a 6-degree angle. These horizontal lines can terminate in one of 4 ways. It can come to a full stop, bend into a vertical stroke, flick straight up as part of a curved hook, or flick to the lower left. Vertical strokes can be written either coming straight down or starting with a subtle 45-degree dot. Doing the latter is typically due to nothing more than artistic expression rather than any practicality. Depending on what the character calls for, a vertical stroke may terminate in one of 6 ways. It can come to a full stop, bend into a horizontal stroke, fade away to the left, fade straight down, flick to the left, or flick to the right. As previously stated, horizontals may redirect into a vertical stroke and vice versa. All this is done in one motion. However, this only applies when the line is turning down or right. Otherwise, the pen must be lifted to start a new stroke. Further, some characters call for hard bends and others call for soft ones. Usually, soft bends end in an upward hook. Diagonals falling to the left start as 45-degree dots, sweep, and then fade away. Whereas ones falling to the right tend to sweep, then come to a brief stop to change its path. Usually it'll flatten itself out, only then will it fade away. Hooks can appear in the following ways. It can start on the left, extend its curve slightly to the right, and then flick to the upper left again. It can come from the left, extend to the right, and then flick up, or it can come as part of a soft bend with the hook itself going straight up. Sadly, this is the end of today's lesson. Please subscribe if you want to stay tuned for the next one, where we will be going over basic principles of Japanese penmanship. If you found this video helpful, leave a like. If you've got any specific characters you need help with, feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching!